Gabe, I'm going to hand it over to you. We're going to talk about the Switch for the next 20 minutes, right, Wade? We got 20 minutes to do this.
Dang,
good?
Cam, how dare you? You had way too much to talk about.
Sorry.
No, okay. Yeah, we have some comments before we even talk about the Switch. We got a hater.
Whoa,
So
Samuel.
Let me
one
see
of
that
our
name.
own.
Sam Spencer. Hater.
he says where is Super Sluggers reboot? And
He's got a
he
point
always
there, but-
wants to play Super Sluggers with me, so that's funny. He really wants a Mario Super Sluggers reboot.
That's actually not a bad idea.
It's a great idea. And then this is a controversial take. We'll see about this.
Free roam
No one
Mario
cares
Kart?
about free roam Mario Kart. Okay,
Open world? Open world Mario Kart?
Isn't that just battle?
Oh, it's like Fortnite.
So guys, the Switch 2 was announced this week. I'll just run through some quick specs. It's got handheld, TV, and tabletop mode, just like the first Switch. The Joy-Cons are now magnetic instead of slide-on, so they actually click in there and stick better.
They stick to your pacemaker.
It's got a bigger screen, 7.9 inches, but the same thickness as the original Switch. It's got double the pixels, so it has 1080p screen, for higher quality. It has LCD and HDR support. It's got bigger SL and SR buttons, so when you're playing just a Joy-Con, those buttons on the top are bigger now. It actually has mouse controls, so on top of motion. Clearer audio speakers, built-in mic with noise-canceling technology, which is much needed for the Switch. 2 USB-C ports, one on top and one on bottom. 256 gigs of storage compared to 32 on the Switch.
Dang.
And then it's got 4K support and a fan ventilation, and it plays Nintendo Switch 2 and 1 games.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
We love reverse compatibility.
Yeah, it's exciting. So, I'm a big Nintendo guy. I've always been a Nintendo guy.
Wait,
I'll be honest. The original
day one purchase.
Well, this is the thing. The original release for this, where they did like a small trailer, I was like very underwhelmed because I was like, great, it's just another Switch. But I don't know. We'll see. It's got a lot of potential to be very good. It's just it does feel kind of the same as the original Switch, just with like an upgrade,
And Wade, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. Definitely.
I think they nailed. Nintendo for so long has been gimmicky, not in a bad way, in a different way, in terms of we want our device to do this, we want our device to do that. And for years, they're in the handheld space and they're in the console space. And they're able to take all of their past gimmicks, pretty much, motion controls, handhelds, things like that, put it all into one machine. It's their final form. I don't know how they do anything else. I mean,
and that's the Switch is making so much money.
Something.
The Switch is making so much money that they're like, we just got to do a better Switch and just keep capitalizing on that success.
And the Switch is so great.
I totally understand it.
My parents bought me and my brother a Wii, and they bought us DSs. And I was able to explain to my parents, I was like, the Switch is a Wii and a DS. I can hold it in my hand and play the game, and then I can put it on the TV and play the game with motion. And my parents were like, what? It's so perfect of what it was that I was not shocked when they announced that their next console was just Switch 2, and it's like Peacemaker and Bloodsport. He does what I do, but better.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
Okay, let's jump into one of the craziest features, game chat. So the Switch now has game chat abilities, and I think this is huge because every time we've ever played online, Jacob, you, me, and maybe like Log or something, we've always had to call.
We're like
it's
calling
so frustrating. So I'm so glad they finally added an in-game mic with game chat, so you can just talk.
It's pretty sick. I do think the camera attachment, which I'm sure you're going into, but
we'll just jump right to it. It's good.
The camera is interesting from the video that they showed. It I understand the purpose. It's like kind of odd that it's a separate purchase. I don't know. I guess if you want it, then you get it. But just kind of looking at what it can do, Jacob had made a comment like, "Oh, streamers are going to love this," but like streamers have a much better setup. To be honest, like the quality of the camera is not ideal. it's only more fun if you're ready to watch your friends like scream when they're losing Mario Kart, you know?
Exactly, and that's what they kind of showed is like you can
Oh,
play
what?
together and like have your background be whatever game you're playing, and your picture is there, but you're seeing and playing and talking with each other. So it's kind of like everyone's on the couch together, but just in separate rooms.
So
I don't
you're
know if I
playing.
want to see that much if I'm playing online. I'm
Whoa,
focusing on the
that's
game.
crazy.
Well, this
It's
is
just
definitely gonna be great
some
for street
shirtless
lifters.
dude sitting like this.
I was gonna say, let's be real. The perspectives are going to be kind of weird sometimes.
That's funny. Yeah. Let's see. Hold on.
I mean, it's cool that they can do that, though. I mean, it's what everybody's thought. Like this is what it's going to be like. You're going to be playing, and people can see your face.
Be careful, Sarah. He bit me about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. So it's pretty fun. Let's jump into some of the stuff they're adding onto it. So one of the first things they did was a Nintendo GameCube. They're actually doing that for the Nintendo Classic series. They've of course got NES, SNES, and Nintendo 64. So I mean, to bring GameCube, I mean those are
Let's go.
a lot bigger
So
games. So
exciting.
that's cool.
Yeah.
And GameCube is hot in the retro community right now.
Yep,
So that's good. That was just a smart move on their part.
I love it.
Sarah, Jacob, did you guys ever play GameCube?
Oh yeah. I only ever played my cousin's GameCube. She would bring it
Okay.
every time she visited for the summer, and we exclusively played Harvest Moon and Monkey Ball. So that's
Nice.
fun. It wasn't very extensive of a history, but I for sure remember it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
my
actually
babysitter's son had a GameCube, and we
Okay.
spent a lot of time on it.
Nice. Yeah, I actually got a GameCube for I think my 9th or 10th birthday. It was the first console I ever got for the TV from like as a gift, and it came with Zelda Twilight Princess and Super Mario Baseball. So there you go,
Amazing.
Sam. If you're out there still,
Sam just went like,
I got one of my first GameCube games was Mario Baseball. So all right, I kind of put these games in order of how I'm excited for them, so I apologize in advance for that. But we'll start with this one. So I think this is kind of the Wii Sports kind of thing. It's called Drag X Drive D&D, and it looks just basically like Rocket League with wheelchairs. But it's got like you use the motion controls like as a mouse or whatever to move your chair and play basketball.
whatever. I
So,
feel like Sam Spencer about this game. Whatever.
yeah, I agree. And I'll run through these real quick. They did some partner spotlights. If you guys have anything you like on here that you want to talk about, feel free to jump in. But the partner spotlight segments, they kind of highlighted some exciting third-party titles coming to the console. This part one showcased, I guess, Hades 2 is anticipated. I don't know anything about it, but they're bringing Madden NFL back.
I thought it was funny that they showed Elden Ring and they were like, "We're gonna put Elden Ring on the Switch,"
Yeah.
but then it's like an abridged version, like so that the Switch can still handle it.
Yeah, embarrassing.
It's like we're getting all these upgrades, but it's still a little behind.
Here's my thought on that, because I was thinking about it and I was thinking like how kind of sad that is a little bit, because it's like, well, shoot, if you want to play Elden Ring, then you should probably play it, whatever. But for people who would love this to be an all-in-one, even like the mouse capability could just straight up replace things that work better with PC and Steam. Ideally, if they get a lot of those similar kinds of games, that way somebody who does prefer the console to be all-in-one, like it totally can. Which is something I didn't think about because we live in a multi-console era. And of course, since this is the Switch 2, it's like, oh, well, we're going to add another Switch, so here's another console for you. But I think actually, I guess that really works for people who just want to have a Switch 2. And then that way they can play all sorts of games, including something like Elden Ring that had been more exclusive and unattainable till now.
Yeah, let's jump into the next partner spotlight. Number 2 here. Part 2 focused more on adventure games like Borderlands 4, Cyberpunk 2077, both leveraging the Switch 2's upgraded hardware for impressive visuals and smoother gameplay. And additionally, they did release another WWE 2K. So, yeah, nothing here I super care about. I'm more of the Nintendo exclusives guy. So, Anything on here you guys like?
Nothing I've tried yet.
Yeah, gotcha. And then they just did a quick sizzles reel. More stuff I don't really know. I think the one up there is Professor Layton, and all I know about that is the games are expensive on the 3DS. So,
Hollow Knight is a big deal. People love Hollow Knight.
oh yeah,
The one there in the middle, yeah.
yeah, yep.
That's Star Wars Outlaws in the bottom right.
Ooh.
Oh, cool.
I still need to play that, but I'll do that on the PS5.
Yeah,
Sorry, Switch.
Sorry, Switch.
All right. So one of the big game features they released is that they are re-releasing Nintendo Switch games on the Nintendo Switch 2 as like upgraded expansion versions. So the newest Mario Party Jamboree just came out like last year for the Switch, but you can get an exclusive, extended version. So it's going to capitalize the use of the new mic camera and microphone. So now you can kind of see your friends' faces while playing from afar. So when you get mad and at them, you can have a face to go with your anger. Right, Jacob?
I get mad at Mario Party.
He got so mad he almost ruined the vibe last time we played.
Dang.
He got all sad at losing. It was kind of
Come
sad.
on, Jake.
It's understandable.
Take the star from me.
Yeah.
50 coins. What?
So what's crazy is if you have the cartridge for the Switch, you can still use that, but you have to buy an expansion pack, unless you have Nintendo Switch Online. But still, that's crazy to me. It's just another money thing you have to spend more for when you've already bought the game.
They're gonna get you with it.
Oh yeah.
The transition always gets you with the money.
Yeah. So they also are going to do the same thing for Nintendo for both Zelda games released on the Switch. Honestly, I'm a huge Zelda fan. I mean, I'm wearing Breath of the Wild shirt right now, but honestly, the only thing they really added was higher resolution for these games, and then kind of a cool app to track your progress and give hints and share items with your friends. But yeah, I don't know. To me, it's not really enough for me to be like, yay, get a Switch 2 ASAP,
Yeah.
So
now, Wade,
yeah.
I was asking Jacob about this, and I think he and I don't know. I just wanted a solid answer based on what you think. So do you think that we'll still be able to use our existing save files if we buy that upgrade and we put it on the Switch 2 with that little transfer? Will we keep our save files and then be able to play our own save with
I'm
those
pretty sure they
upgrades?
said you can do that. Yeah, but
Okay.
you still will have to buy the expansion pack or whatever with the Switch 2, or else it won't work.
Okay.
So, yeah. Any Kirby fans out there? They also adding Kirby in the Forgotten Land. They're adding a new world, I think.
I like that. They're not just saying they're upgrading the game,
that's
like
what
the
I was.
quality, but they're like, here's like a DLC.
Right,
with
that's
it
what I was
too.
hoping would be more for Zelda, but no, there was just more like enhancements versus new stuff. So this is kind of cool that the Kirby fans are going to get this.
That is cool.
All right, let's jump into some of the mainline games exclusive for Switch 2.
Ooh.
Fuck it, Sam Spencer. This is going to be the time of my life.
Mario Kart World. It is an open world Mario Kart. You are able to drive anywhere on the world, not let alone the track. And I'm not kidding. It looks like everyone is there. Like you can play as every Mario villain, like that's ever existed. It feels like, and some of the stuff is crazy, like the grinding on the rails. And you can drive into big trucks and then control the big trucks. It's gonna be wild.
This is the game Mario Kart fans have been waiting for because they did the right thing with Mario Kart 8 on the Switch with the DLCs. They brought back as many tracks as they could. They made it, so that you could pretty much play anything from Mario Kart history that you want on the Switch. And then they're like, here's the Switch 2, brand new.
Yeah.
Completely keeps the formula, but opens it up to
the idea of being able
to Mario Kart guy.
The idea of being able to explore a world that Nintendo's going to pack with like Easter eggs and just fun areas and everything. And there is such an unbelievable sense of freedom when you get to play just an open world racing game. We used to have a game on the PS2. It was like ATV and freestyle, something. I don't even remember what it was called. I still have it downstairs though. And you could just take off and like not win the race or whatever, but just go on these plains and hills forever. And that feeling is so special. Like there's something amazing about not having to worry about the pressures of the race, just exploring and like doing tricks and doing jumps and doing whatever the heck you want to do. Like to me, that is like pure gaming. And so the idea of being able to do that in a lovely Nintendo world is going to be so beautiful.
Sam,
That Forza Horizon
Sam
joke is
Spencer
pretty
said
good.
if I wanted to play an open world Mario Kart, I'd just play Forza Horizon games.
Yeah.
Dang.
Whatever.
No, this looks cool. This looks fun, and plus it takes full advantage of the, playing with your friends. I think they said 24 racers in the races, so that's pretty crazy. I don't know if that means 24 different players can play together, or if it's still just 4. I don't know.
I'm imagining online it's probably a solid 24, but I just don't see any feasible way of doing any more than that unless you've got different Switch systems in person.
I think the 24 is because they showed there's different modes, like there's Classic Grand Prix, and then there's a mode where you can drive from like one end of the world to the other, and every time like a section ends, if you're not in the top X amount,
That's
you get
true.
knocked out.
Oh yeah,
I think that's what the
that makes
24 is
sense.
for.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you start 24, then it's 12, 6, 3.
That's going to be crushing.
This looks so cool.
I
by
know,
the way,
especially because you're going to be out in the round of
Right.
24,
Ooh.
Sarah.
It's not a Nintendo guy exclusively. This looks really cool though.
It looks pretty. It looks pretty sick. They're
Yeah,
bringing
they're
it all
doing
in,
this.
and it's very
Yeah.
colorful, and yeah. So
cool.
they are doing a sequel to Kirby Air Ride, originally released on the GameCube.
Dang, what?
Yeah,
I
dude.
remember that game.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like Jacob and I's college group chat blew up on this. Guys who haven't touched a video game in forever were like, "Do I need to get a Switch too?"
Because of Kirby Air
Riders.
Dang.
So this is cool. I was never really a fan of it. I did have it. I preferred Mario Kart always. It's just okay to me. But
do
yeah, I
remember
can
playing this
understand
with
the
you,
hype. What's that, Cam?
I remember playing this with you. Don't
Yeah,
you like choose your air rider, the thing
Yep.
you ride on, the like hovercraft thing, hoverboard type thing?
Yep.
Crazy.
So that's a pretty neat release. Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment. Now this is cool. So obviously the 2 Zelda games, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. After Breath of the Wild came out, they released Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity, which was 100 years before Breath of the Wild. Kind of as like it's not a full game. It's just kind of like a run around and slash and kill a bunch of monsters game.
Mhm.
But it's still cool for story. And this one is for Tears of the Kingdom. It's like, Zelda gets shoved to the past, and it follows her full story here. So this is purely for me. If Log was here, he was supposed to be on tonight. He would be freaking out with me because we're excited. But
Do you think they're gonna do a game, Wade? Like a
they
full
have
new
to do a game eventually.
Yeah, they're gonna.
But
have
I don't
to.
know what they're gonna do. I don't.
Yeah, they'll figure
I don't know.
it out. They
It's
can
hard.
do
It's
it.
hard because it's like Zelda can't. Like, how bigger can you get than one open world? I don't know.
Just
And then
new
the sky and the
story.
depths too. I don't know. We'll see.
I think hopefully if they go that route again, they'll maybe pack it a little bit more with content in the nooks and crannies of the world. Because I personally love exploring the world of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Like that totally scratches the itch for me. But I've heard a lot of people who really love the traditional Zelda games too complain that it was just kind of too empty sometimes. So I think if they go for another open world Zelda game, and I wish that they would, that maybe they just kind of put more into it so that they can keep the size of the world. The size of the world is huge. It's perfect.
Yeah.
But they just start stuffing more into it or having maybe a bit more complex of storyline or something. I hope that they increase like the quality. They don't have to make it bigger. We don't need bigger.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing is like both the games were delved into a world that was already ruined, like in ruins. So it's like ruins everywhere you go. But I want like full towns everywhere you go. Towns and big dungeons and hard bosses because
more NPCs to interact with, all that stuff.
Yeah, because to me, being a longtime Zelda fanatic and connoisseur, as I'd say, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom were just too easy. You know, for me, you go into the bosses and you're like, oh, done, you know, and move on because the game allows you to do that. So, all right, this is the last one I have for the night. If you guys know any more, you can feel free to shout them out. But this one's crazy to me. Donkey Kong Bonanza. It is a 3D Donkey Kong game, which we have not had since the N64. And yeah, it looks so good. They did a Treehouse live thing today, and I watched all of it, and I was like, I'm so ready. But
So
yeah,
cool, Wade.
What are you guys' thoughts on Donkey Kong's design? I've heard some concerns with
Yeah.
it looking too much like he did in the movie versus his original design.
right, and I think that's why they did it. People say that the movie design is more like his original design. Like if you take the
Interesting.
pixelated one, bump it
Yeah.
up, it would look more like this. So
Okay.
I understand what they're trying to do, and you know, it just makes sense. You already did the movie like that. You might as well make him look like that, so you get more kids to be interested to play this game.
I don't think it's too drastic of a change, though. I mean, it's obviously
No.
Donkey Kong.
I mean, he looks more animated, I guess, you know, instead of live action.
What
But
type of game is this, Wade? It's not like a side scroller, is it? Like
no, Cam, remember Donkey Kong 64's Adventure?
It's like this.
It's like that, where you go around and you
Ooh.
collect banana. It's so it's like
That's
Mario
so cool.
Odyssey.
Yes,
It's like Mario
that's so
Odyssey
cool.
for Switch 2.
That's
is
so
how it
Except you
feels
get to
like.
like destroy the ground that you walk on. It's kind of
Yep.
looks intense.
Yep, and you're throwing the bricks everywhere and you destroy the
Dang.
bananas. So
That's awesome. That's so.
so
cool.
yeah, guys,
That's
is this
exciting.
a day one pickup for you?
Well, here's the thing. I love Mario Kart a lot. I was 100% expecting a new 3D Mario. In the vein of 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, and Odyssey. I'm pretty shocked that wasn't a launch title. Now I'm pretty certain that it's going to be a title next summer to give them a second boost of sales. So I had already kind of been like, I want to get one because I was certain that it would be a Mario Kart and a 3D Mario. I still think I might get it. The new Mario Kart really looks good. And sometime later this year is Pokemon Legends Z to A.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to be a pretty exciting game for Pokemon fans. And those two, I think enough are me would get me to buy it.
I personally wanted to wait until they released like a special edition that had different colors, just because I have the Animal Crossing Switch and I adore it. But I mean, I think we eventually plan on probably getting 2 Switch 2s anyway. So my purchase will likely just wait way down the line until I find something I like.
Yeah. So Cam or Colin, how much do you think the Switch 2 is going to be?
Is it like $500?
It's $450, but they have a bundle with Mario Kart for $500.
Dang.
But it's virtual, right?
So
here, if the physical cart for Mario Kart and wait, I've seen what you're talking about. I don't know if it's for every game or not, but there is a design of the cart for a Switch 2 game that says this is just a pass that allows you to download the game.
I don't.
The game is not on.
Something I read said it in the fine print. If you read it, they're just calling it like a key card. So I don't know if that's every game, like you're saying. Like, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully not.
If it is every game, so here's the thing: the bundle with Mario Kart World is $500. So pretty much you're paying $50 for Mario Kart. If you buy Mario Kart World, if you go and you buy the game at Best Buy, $80.
Yeah, dude.
That's a $30 difference. Now that'd be worth it for me to be like, here's the case, it's on my shelf. Here's the game on the cart. But if it's just a key pass for a digital download, I don't know if $30 for a case is worth it.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
Or do I vote with my wallet and say, I don't care how you do it, I want to buy the game physically, even though I'm not really.
But pricing out all the people who would maybe get the physical, you know, all those people who maybe done. You're not gonna do that. That's way too much. So
and a sucker for paying $30 extra. Shall I have a case?
It's just the collectors who are gonna do that.
Yeah, well, and the other thing is, like, if I intend to get my own Switch so that we can play our own versions of the Pokemon games when they come out, blah, 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 like, whatever your reasoning is for that, if you have more than one person with a Switch in your house, then you get the one digital key code and you get to download it on one Switch and maybe share it 2 weeks or whatever.
Well, that's what we need to figure out. Is the cart a one time you punch it in and then it downloads, or is it you punch it in and then you're allowed to download it onto your
Yeah,
Switch?
I don't know, and that's the problem. It's not
Because you
super.
still in physically. You still need to put it in physically to play it. So it's not like you can buy one cartridge and put it in all your friends' Switches and
Because
everyone has
I
the
just don't
game.
think that Nintendo is that generous to let you like give it to somebody else. They can download it and oh bam, they've got it forever, instead of essentially loaning it from them every certain time period. And even if you live in the same house together, like it's just not something I'm interested in doing. I think it's much more worth it to then get the game for $40 a piece if we got the solid cartridge, and then that way we can both put it in our own systems. But that's kind of it's kind of a middle class problem. It's a little out of touch. So there's that too.
Yeah.
And that's a good point, Sarah, because how much was like a Nintendo DS, how much was a Wii? I mean, I'm sure you can adjust it for inflation and it's still expensive, but the sticker shock of $400+ and $80 games.
Mario Kart game is kind of crazy.
An $80 Pro controller and a $30 camera. It's just like, really, Nintendo? You couldn't like include the camera at least? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's also about the microphone. That's not going to be cross-platform, right? So if you're playing any cross-platform games, does it still count as a mic like it does on any other console controller? Because if you got something
you're saying like for
playing
Fortnite or something,
something like that, and then you've just got the exact same problem you had before.
Yeah, I don't know. See, that they haven't answered those kind of questions. So,
and I don't think they want to. I think
we're very, I like Nintendo, but they know that they have the market cornered. In the Direct, they did everything they could to avoid talking about pricing. And something interesting too is that they're selling. So the Japanese, what is it? The yen. It's very poor right now. I mean, the conversion rate is like awful. Like their economy is struggling a bit. So how much the Switch 2 will cost in Japan in US money is $320.
Oh.
So to combat people buying their Switch 2s from Japan, Switch 2s in Japan will only be Japanese. They won't have other languages.
Wow.
Or in Japan, they'll sell a multi-language version. It's $450, however much yen that is.
Wild.
So they recognize that their home country is in an economic problem right now. But they know that people in the US will probably pay it.
That feels weird. Because on one hand, I'm like, wow, how nice of them to consider the fact that their own country, their community needs more affordable.
I don't think
on the other hand, it's like that kind of feels like you're taking advantage of us. Then just do it.
Yeah, it's not nice of them. They're doing it to stay alive. Yeah. If they announced that it was $450 worth of yen, the Japanese people would probably revolt.
It's always going to be hard to swallow high price tags like that. It always has been, honestly, but it always feels like it gets worse just because of inflation.
It's just funny because the Switch 2 is not a crazier design. It's just more powerful. So it's just funny. It's like it went from 300 to 450. And it's like for
also,
not that much more.
OLED screen? That's weird, right?
That's interesting. Yeah.
You would figure that that's all wrapped up and that's where the Switch OLED was heading. But then they just have another screen. That means there's going to be some sort of update in the future where the only thing changes again is going to be an OLED screen. And it's like, for somebody like me, that's not a huge deal, but it's kind of sneaky.
Switch 2.5, yeah.
Exactly.
Gosh.
Yeah, I just got an OLED for Christmas, and I'm like, nah, I'll wait a couple of years. I mean, I won't get to play Mario Kart World, but...
Yeah.
You will if you come over to my house.
That's the key, is get a friend,
Exactly.
Get a friend who's crazy enough to put it on a credit card.
I've got 2 questions for you guys. After hearing all this, I like Nintendo. I just sadly bought a Nintendo Switch for the youth group, and now it's like I feel like it's obsolete a little bit, but it's fun.
The staying power of the Switch is phenomenal.
Here's my first question: do you sell your old Switch and buy the Switch 2? Is that your plan?
I can't bring myself to do it. I really like my Switch personally, and honestly, Jacob would too. Ours have and Wade would know this, obviously. Wade's is also really special edition in terms of just like how it's designed. I get really attached to stuff like that. So even though that makes the most sense financially, I don't know if I can bring myself to do it. Yeah. So that puts me in a weird spot.
Yeah. Yes, Sarah has the Animal Crossing Switch, and I have the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Switch. I think part of buying those was, I want to have this. I have a feeling Wade's not going to sell his Tears of the Kingdom Switch.
But what
Oh,
about the
it's
other
so
one,
beautiful.
Wade?
It's a
Well,
Sheikah
no,
slate.
so listen to. I can't do it because I have too much on there. I know you can transfer save data, but I don't know.
Doing one game at a time is just
Yeah, no
Yeah.
thanks. But
might
anyway,
as well just play the new games on the new console and kind
Yeah,
of keep them separated.
exactly. That's
Now,
my
I
physical
can see myself.
guy. But yeah,
I can't see myself buying a Switch 2, this basic version, and then maybe in like 4 years when there's an awesome OLED new whatever Pokemon happens in 2030 version, I can see me selling the base Switch 2. Like Sarah said,
Yeah.
middle class problem.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I got to tell you this. My wife said I can get a Switch 2 if I sell one of my consoles or if the Barney tape sells.
Barney tape,
Oh,
Barney
no.
tape.
Barney
it
tape,
now.
please.
Somebody buy the Barney
Please
tape.
Buy the
sell
Barney
Barney
tape.
tape. Please,
Please
someone out
buy
there.
the Barney tape.
Deep cut to the pod. Last question: is this equivalent to the Wii U? You know what I'm saying? Like with
That's
the,
what a lot of people are saying because
It's like-
the Wii, the Wii had so much success that they did almost the same thing, added a few new features like the gamepad to the Wii U, but
Yep.
no one bought the Wii U because they thought it was just the Wii extra or whatever,
Wii
like an
extra.
accessory to the Wii. So,
I think that's where the naming will help. Wii U is a really
Yeah.
weird name. Even I, who had a Wii and loved a Wii, didn't quite fully understand what the Wii U
Right.
was. How is an adult going to understand it when they're buying it for their kid? Switch 2 is a lot smarter.
Marketing.
yeah, because I mean, PlayStation has done that for
Mhm.
years and it's
Exactly.
worked great. So,
Mhm. And it's very clear to
And
gamers, yeah.
Xbox has done everything to not do it for years.
So it's almost like, hey, is the Switch like this? Is the Switch exists? We're gonna do a Switch 2. We'll do a Switch 3 because like we've cracked the code. Like with Xbox, it's the Xbox blank.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
No,
Maybe they're
and-
not
and
gonna
yeah.
change the name anymore.
yeah,
You know
that's what
I
they
mean?
we mentioned earlier is like this is Nintendo's peak evolution is like
Mhm.
it's the perfect handheld mixed with TV mode, kind of the max that they can figure out. Like, I don't know what else you get. What's the next stage? Like what else could they do?
I just can't fathom where else you could go from here.
Yeah, unless it's like VR, but that everything VR kind of is people don't care about it. So
Yeah, it's a very
don't know.
gradual process for VR. We still have yet to see it in its best evolution, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Cool guys. Yeah, that's exciting. I'm excited
Is
for
it?
you.
not for our wallets.
Yeah.